Alright, so... we were directed to go speak to High Road Grummy here, or Grummel.
Yeah, smell this.
This path leads to Kunmai Summit. Good fortune to those who travel to shop at Grummel shops.
Beware of Yeti.
So basically what we're doing here is now we're kind of going through a... I guess you could call this kind of like an alternate, or like a, how would you... let's see. It's obviously a pathway that connects the Valley of the Four Winds to Kunmai Summit, but it almost has a feel of you're making a pilgrimage from this area to the next. Like right here, we go up a couple of flights of stairs, and we see this. We see Lore Walker Suchun here, who has a book about the General and the Grummel, as well as the Sorok and the Jinyu, just a number of lore books here, including a scroll here about a history of the Veiled Stair, which is what this is actually a very tiny little zone right here called the Veiled Stair, which we're actually going to be going through and doing some stuff here on our way to Kunmai Summit, which is basically how this serves. You have this long, narrow pathway here, along with this place in the middle called the Tavern in the Mist, and then we will pass the Terrace of Endless Spring, which is one of the raids, on our way up to the Ancient Passage, which will take us up to Kunmai Summit. But I see this right here, and you know what this reminds me of? This reminds me of... for those of you who have played Skyrim, you remember when you heard the call of the Greybeards, and the Jarl of Whiterun was like, "You must make the journey to the throat of the world, to High Hrothgar, to see the Greybeards, and journey the 7,000 steps." That's what this reminds me of. Because, well, on the way we're doing that, we're passing little shrines like this. We even have passed a couple of other... people doing this pilgrimage to High Hrothgar, who are just kind of taking a moment to either relax or meditate, or look upon these shrines, or for various different reasons. But, I mean, look at all these steps we're having to go. It's even called the Path of 100 Steps. Obviously not as much as 7,000 like in Skyrim, but you get the idea. We even pass some Four Winds traders over here. Some Hosen traders. Who are... I think they're supposed to be holding their horns. I think that's a bug. Because otherwise, what the heck are they doing? Like, we've seen the Hosen do some silly stuff, but that right there is... yeah. But yeah, just look at how long this pathway is. And so we arrive at the Tavern in the Mist. Now you're probably going, what's with this tavern just kind of in the middle? Well, think of it more so like, when people are making this pilgrimage, why wouldn't they want to come to a place like this, where they can be able to actually, like, you know, take a moment to rest and relax before they continue on their pilgrimage? Makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? Now, I wonder who could possibly be in here. Well, well, well. Look who it is. It's our old buddy Rathian. Keep in mind, this is the first time we have seen Rathian since the end of Cataclysm. And also remember, only rogues actually got to see Rathian. Like, if you were not playing a rogue, you basically had to look up what happened. But from what I recall, rogues were the only one who actually got to see Rathian actually show up and become a character, and then after he gives the rogue the legendary daggers, he flies off as a little whelpling, because he's basically still a little whelpling here at this point in time, and then this is where we find him. Now, in Pandaria, there was actually a whole legendary cloak thing you could do with Rathian here, which obviously is not really a thing here, because why would we need his legendary cloak when we have this Cloak of Infinite Potential here? But it's just kind of like, you know, it's like, of course he's still here. So we have two of his bodyguards, right and left, and his supplier, the Black Talon Quartermaster. Hello, Rathian.
These Pandaren question everything. It makes you think.
Welcome, Demon Hunter. My contacts throughout Pandaria tell me that you have been quite busy here. I admire mortals with your initiative. History finds us at a turning point. If you are prepared to meet destiny with me head on, I will ensure that you are richly rewarded for your efforts. I'm sorry, who are you? I have chosen the name Rathian. To my knowledge, I am the last of the Black Dragons. That's actually not true, but he doesn't know that. My father was Deathwing, the Worldbreaker, the aspect of death, the destroyer, but I hope you will not hold that against me. Oh, don't worry, Rathian, I'm not a believer in the sins of the father. I have no love for my father, whose corruption destroyed my race, or for the red dragonflight who stole away and experimented on my egg to create me. Yeah. You know, I actually don't recall if he's ever actually brought that up with Alex Straza. Maybe he has, I just didn't know about it or didn't notice. Because I'd like to see him bring that up with somebody like, so, Alex Straza, about you experimenting on me when I was an egg. You know, I would think he'd be a little bitter about that, but apparently he's not. Well, let's just... Oh, wait, no, he says he has no love, which is funny, because we then see him kind of on friendly terms with Alex Straza, but I guess he kind of let bygones be bygones, I guess. Let's just say that I am unaffiliated, and I am always on the lookout for like-minded heroes. So, of course, keep in mind, this is going to lead us into Warlords, even though that was kind of made to happen that way. Kind of because of, also, by the way... yeah. Tong the Fixer. Oh, hold on, what was that? Glittering. A forgotten lockbox. Oh. Don't mind me just stealing your gold, Tong. Sorry about that.
Slow down.
Once you have earned the respect of His Majesty, the Black Prince, then you will have earned mine. Complete more of his tasks. Until then, be gone. I have nothing to sell to you.
Goodbye.
So I'm pretty sure that his entire, presence or questline and such is completely disabled here in Remix, because why would it be when we have the Cloak of Infinite Potential? There's really no reason for that, so it's just kind of like, oh, hey, he's here. You know, his old model. Oh, don't worry, it won't be the only time we see him. We'll get to see him again when we head to the Time Missile at some point.
Greetings, Wanderer.
I am the retrieval expert for Her Ladyship, Madame Goya. It is her will that guides the ebb and flow of travel on this road. It is my role to ensure that certain less scrupulous types do not take advantage of Her Ladyship's hospitality. I mean, look, considering how often we're trying to get stuff on our black market auction house, well...
Jade Serpent, guide you.
The Spring Road is under the protection of Her Ladyship, the esteemed Madame Goya. The Sorok of Hatescale Borough, northeast of here, require education in this fact. We have warned them before, but sadly they seem to have a very short memory. Travel northeast to this borough and find their shaman leader. Eliminate him, and you will have the gratitude of Her Ladyship, as well as an appropriate bounty. I like that his name is Leechfingers.
Next one is on me.
Ah, a demon hunter. Don't question why I know what that is. I could make good use of your skills. A convoy was struck up just up the road by a band of marauding Sorok. These marauders made off with some merchandise. Her Ladyship, the Madame Goya, had a mine to sell. One does not steal from Her Ladyship. If you recover these items, I will gladly provide you a finder's fee.
May the mists protect you.
I don't know if I showed it off when we did that scenario about the pirate Hosen. But one of my favorite things that he says when we start that scenario is they steal everything from us, including our brew. No one steals our brew. No one. If there's one thing the Pandaren get very intense about is protecting their brew.
I need a target.
If you ever want to invoke the wrath of a Pandaren, try stealing their brew. And see how far that gets you. It won't be pretty. Alright, I believe Leechfingers is in here. You will bleed! Gosh, this is reminding me of those caves from the starting zones.
I don't have a target.
You guys know what I'm talking about. If you've done the Night Elf starting zone or the Orc starting zone, remember how many of these caves we had to go into and be like, hey, go find the leader of this group that's hidden deep in this cave. It's like in every starting zone. Orc, Night Elf, Dwarf. There's Leech Fingers. Hey!
It's too far away.
Perhaps we attacked too soon. Like that a number of these pieces of merchandise here are like Mogu pieces here and there, like Mogu statues. In case you're wondering, no, Madame Goya, I would be shocked if I actually found her here in Remix. There's no reason for her to be in Remix.
Travels. There is no hurry.
Our merchandise. Madame Goya will be pleased. You have the gratitude of her ladyship.
Next one is on
The deed is done, and a debt must be paid. Here is a reward. You have our gratitude.
May the mists protect you.
Let me see here. Hold on. Is there anyone over here? Hello? Huh. Oh, this is... Okay, so this is where she used to be, right here. That's right. I forgot this was actually the location. This is a retired exchange guard where he's basically... Yeah, it's as it says. Because Madame Goya gets moved every expansion to a different location... Like, basically, her previous location, like, will have these guys like, oh, she's no longer here. Madame Goya has decided to move her operations to more lucrative markets. It seemed like a prudent time to give up a thankless job. But yeah, she used to be here, and so this guy is basically just retired and gets to just be here and just chill and relax, enjoying his retirement and such. You know how it is. Alright. So that brief little bit there is just kind of it here in the Veiled Stair. You'll notice the road splits here from the tavern. We're gonna take this road to continue on to Kunlai Summit, but then we have this path here, which, as you can see, is lit up, the Gate of Endless Spring, and this will take us right up here to the entrance of the Terrace of Endless Spring raid. I like that you can actually get a glimpse inside through that doorway there. But that raid does not happen for quite some time. Basically, timeline-wise, oh, wow. Huh. Hello there. But basically, timeline-wise, that raid does not happen until after we go through the Dread Waste and deal with the Heart of Fear. So, we now make our way over here and... Oh, hello, Brewmaster Boof. Eggshell.
Oh, we have entered a dangerous place, my lucky do. In this Saurak, we have grown very angry. They are an attack all boats that pass through. We must be on our guard.
Good fortune to all friends of the Grummels.
Have you ever been to the Blue Moon Festival? It's a real treat. I'm preparing a big batch of my Kunlai kicker for the celebration. Do you want to join me in Banan Village? Well, let me see what you sell. Ah, of course he sells some brew. Of course, he's a brewmaster. Of course he does. So I can queue for the Blue Moon Festival. We won't do that right now, though. So I appreciate your offer, but not right now. I have places to get to.
White Tiger watch over you.
Nobody really travels up the ancient passage on foot. That is just asking for a face full of Sorok if you are not careful. Tell you what, Eggshell and I were just about to set off upriver to Banan Village. Do you want a lift?
Goodbye. Until...
Have you ever seen the Blue Moon Festival? The good folks of Banan Village host quite a party, and tonight's festivities are brew catered by none other than yours truly here. I am making my famous Kunlai kicker. Think you might come and join us for the festivities? It should be a completely relaxing event with absolutely no danger whatsoever.
Enough of that.
Maybe some other time. For now, let's head on up the river, shall we? On the Spring Drifter. Have you ever been to Kunlai before? It's great, long flowing farmlands, beautiful mountains, and absolutely nothing dangerous whatsoever.
Who's an attack Grummels?
Well, yes, there are problems with the Hosen.
Tigers.
Yes, and the tigers.
The Dark Hatch Sorak are very dangerous and very powerful.
The spears are just for show. As long as we don't get out of the boat or make eye contact or get hit by a spear, then we should be fine.
Sorak are very dangerous.
I like how he's saying, oh, as long as we don't get hit by a spear, we'll be fine. It's safe. I brought Lord Walker Cho and his strange companions up this way not long back.
The orc tried to punch me.
Orc, you say? Oh, you had that coming, waving your incense about in his face. Wait a bit. Something doesn't feel right about this. Are those refugees? What's going on over there? Do I hear fighting? These people are farmers, not fighters. They may need our help.
Speak up. White Tiger watch.
We've made it. Welcome to Benon Village.
Enough of that.
So, welcome to Kunlai Summit.
Your rage gives you strength.
Oh yeah, I was going to let you guys know. If you got a little sick of hearing the war band yell every time they spawned when we were in the Valley of the Four Winds, get ready to possibly feel the same way in this zone, because here in Kunlai Summit, the world boss that's here is the Shaw of Anger. The physical manifestation of rage has escaped from the Shadowpan Monastery in Kunlai Summit. Amid the brutal conflicts gripping Pandaria, the dark entity has grown ever more powerful. Recently, the Shah has been wandering Kunlai, using negative energies to corrupt everything the being encounters. So yeah, we're going to be dealing with what's happening here, partly because of it's not just the Shaw of Anger that's causing issues here in Kunlai. We'll also be encountering another Shaw when we head to the Shadowpan Monastery later on. But, yeah. Get ready to hear the Shaw of Anger yell a lot while we are in this zone. Yeah, just a heads up, okay? In fact, I'm rather curious. He's probably already dead. But he's like way up here, and you'll also see, just from this high up as a little preview as to what we're going to be dealing with, you can see that quite a bit of this zone is already clearly being affected by the negative Shaw energies, courtesy of the Shaw of Anger. Gosh, I made the trip over here so many times, because as you probably can tell, and yes, of course he's already dead, very typical. Just a little preview. I'll try to actually show off the fight at some point, because I do have to actually kill him for the achievement. I gotta do that at least once. But he drops a mount that a lot of people really wanted, and yeah. It was a very desired mount, as you can imagine. I'm gonna go ahead and kind of fly through and uncover a part of the map here. And then we will continue in just a moment. But yeah, get ready to hear him yell a lot as we're in this zone every time he spawns. Just a heads up. It's always nice when you get not only some bronze, but you also get an extra bit of thread for your cloak when you fly through those things. That's always nice. But yeah, that's basically the little pilgrimage that people make from the Valley of the Four Winds to Kunlai Summit. So, also you'll probably notice some familiar names up there. Yeah! So anyways, we'll get there. We're making our way there. Welcome to Benon Village, Demon Hunter. I beg you, please help us.
What do you need?
Mayor Bramblestaff? Refugees are flooding into Benon from all throughout the steppes. I fear the Yangol have breached the wall. I'll talk about the Yangol in a moment.
White Tiger watch over you.
Oh, more strangers? Oh, this day is testing my limits.
And Until next time.
Your companions that survived the battle with the Shard are now in the care of Banon Village, home to Pandaria's finest healers. It looks as though they shall recover their physical injuries. The journey to Banon will take you up the veiled stair to the very doorstep of Kunlai Summit. I urge you to bring this missive to Mayor Bramblestaff in Banon Village. There he can direct you to your companions. I look forward to our paths crossing again, Lord Walker Cho.
Goodbye. Until next time.
Oh, you are a friend of Cho's? Oh, welcome, welcome. I would serve you a banquet, but as you can see, we are in dire straits at the moment. Say, would you be willing to lend us a hand? Of course, of
White
course.
Tiger watch over you.
Clearly you are a hero come to aid us. Well, so... Slay the Batari tribe in the Kunlai Pass to the northwest until the Batari fire warrior is angered enough to appear. Dispatch him.
Enough of that.
Greetings. Your people are inside, but first, may I ask a favor?
Tell me of your travels.
Our warriors are fighting to keep the Yongol at bay in the Kunlai Pass to the northwest. Take this liniment. It's a powerful medicine that has been passed down in my family over the generations. Use the Ditda Jiao to heal the injured warriors. If you do not have the healing powers to use your own to use on them.
The world is
So that's actually one of the cool things about this type of quest is that if you are a class that can heal, like a priest or a druid or a shaman, then you can just go ahead and cast your heals on them. But if you're not, then they provide you these bandages to be able to pull off doing the quest. It's a really nice
I'm out of range.
bit there to be like, hey, guess what? If you can just go do it this way if you want. You know? But you're probably wondering, what the heck are the Yongol? Well, the Yongol... Here's the unfortunate thing. We actually don't know that much about the Yongol, actually, because the Yongol were victim to basically the exact same thing that...
Slow down.
I am in your debt. That the Mogu did to the Pandarans, which was...
Not
Speak up.
ready.
They wiped out their history. We could use you in the fight. Hello, Commander.
Patience. Patience.
As soon as their reinforcements arrive, the Yongol are going to overrun our position here. If they do that, the village will be lost. Would you be willing to retrieve as many arrows off the battlefield as you can carry? I have a plan that just might save us with your help.
Goodbye.
So how many of you know about
I need to
the
get
burning, the real-life event called the Burning of the Library of Alexandria? Which I believe is, I hope I have that right. But it's basically an event where a library full of, like, documented history was burned. And basically, it was, like, the only copies of that particular documented history. So, whatever was in that library was burned and lost to time, and there's no other copies of it. So, it's considered a horrible tragedy because of the idea of you are basically burning and wiping away documented history. And that's always just such a horrible tragedy to happen. Now we have the situation here in Pandaria where the Mogu being I've already talked about how horrible and pathetic the Mogu are. They basically forbade the Pandarans and the Yongol, whatever they used to be, from having not only documented history, as in writing it down, but also the oral passing down of history, as in you couldn't do the "let me tell you a story" and orally pass down their actual history. That was forbidden, and if it was ever discovered that they did have it, it would be basically destroyed. So yeah, basically the Mogu were like, alright, if you are forbidden from having any documented history or passing it down, and if you do, we will absolutely destroy it. So basically the Mogu, they committed two equivalents of the burning of the Library of Alexandria, which is wiping out the history, the past history of both the Pandarans and the Yongol. So, as much as I would like to tell you about the past history of the Yongol, I can't. Because it doesn't exist because the Mogu wiped them out. So thanks, Mogu, once again for being horrible and pathetic. They're not only idiots and bullies, but are absolutely stupid. So, what the Yongle used to be are basically kind of a mystery. But, oh, looks like you got more than enough. Quick! I think I can see the Yongle reinforcements massing on the horizon. But from what I understand, the Yongle are basically a victim of the flesh crafting that we will discover later on.
Come, speak with me. Keep the
Oh, thank you. You've saved our defensive line here. This next attack wouldn't have been possible without you.
May your deeds live on in story.
What do you need?
Ah, we are delivered. I was right about you.
Goodbye.
Oh, you've saved Banan Village. Ring the gong so all shall know. Well, thank you. Quite thematic, but I am certainly not opposed to thematics.
Welcome.
Ah, you have my thanks. You have shown great honor through your actions. I hope that my family's Didda Joe was of some use to you.
Keep your eyes.
It would seem that your General Nazgrim has awakened from his injuries. He and his people are upstairs. He has requested your presence.
Live for your dreams.
So this is basically one of the main things here.
You, over here.
You'll see some familiar names here if you were watching both this playthrough as well as my Alliance playthrough. But basically, this is one of the main differences here, is that...
As soon as I can get up, I'm gonna crush you.
So, sorry, I need to respond to my guildmate there for a moment. But basically, depending on what faction you are, will be different here. Like, if I come here on my Alliance character, I would talk to Admiral Taylor as opposed to Nazgrim. And of course, you'll see some familiar faces here. On the Horde, you'll see Clutchpop over here and Kieran. And then over here, you'll see Mishka and Sully. Along with, of course, Nazgrim and Taylor, which you can see are both bandaged up because this is basically them recovering from what happened at the Temple of the Jade Serpent when the Shaw of Doubt showed up.
The tip of the Horde spear. No greater honor.
Where have you been? Never mind. As you can see, we survived the battle at the Jade Serpent. Unfortunately, so did
Can get up.
they.
I'm gonna crush you.
Yeah, if you stand here long enough, you're just going to hear them. This is very amusing that the Pandaren are aiding them, tending to their wounds, in the same room. So they're just going to sit here being tended to, having their wounds tended to, and they'll just sit here exchanging insults at each other. Like, Taylor and Nazgrim will just be, like just jawing at each other. It's actually pretty funny. Anyways. I am injured. In fact, I'm going to go ahead and... Just turn off the sound for a moment, just because I don't want them talking over me the whole time. I am injured, but we can't stop here. I should go ahead and read some of the things they say to each other, though. Like, Taylor will be like, "These people should not be enslaved by your cruel horde. I will not allow it. As soon as I get up, I'm going to crush you. How many innocents have died at your hand, Orc? Your horde has no honor. I'll wait until you're healed to finish you, Nazgrim. Let it not be said that the Alliance has no honor. You escaped me in Bashir. You won't be so lucky here. I grow weary of these Horde cowards. There must be some place else in this village to rest. Your kind shall never build a foothold here. This is destined to be Horde land." I'm just rolling my eyes at Taylor. I like Taylor, but I'm just rolling my eyes at his whole thing here, you know. It's like... Taylor, we need to have a talk with you about the reality of what's going on with the Horde. That there are two Hordes here, and one of them is led by a horrible dictator, which we do not like. Just saying. I am injured, but we can't stop here. The Hosen were unreliable. The Pandaren would be much better allies.
Greetings. You have seen the refugees in this village, and heard of the Yongle invasion, no? Well, we've heard from the locals that East Wind Rest, a nearby village, was destroyed by the Yongle. Apparently some survivors have gathered along the road out of town. Go, take the road west, gather the survivors. We'll help them rebuild, and then they will see the advantage of joining the Horde.
Fear! Kunlai Summit is where you're going to die, Orc. I'm going to bury you. Kunlai Summit is where you're going to die, Orc. I'm going to bury you.
Okay, Taylor, you must have gotten hit in the head because now you're repeating yourself. It's like, you know, Pandarians, can you give them some, like, I don't know, sedatives? Just kind of calm them down, make them go to sleep. Just have them nap for a while, please. It's like, maybe a good nap will do those two some good.
I hope you find these to your liking.
Oh, you don't have any sedatives? Okay, I know a way I can get them to sleep. BAM! Just smack up, just punch them right in the face and knock them out. It's like, alright, they're asleep now. Did you see what PapaNeeks the Demon Hunter did to the Yongle? It's so funny seeing them say the words Demon Hunter since they should know what that is. We also have some other ones here. So, when we come back, we will be going around as we continue working on questing throughout. As you can see, we have quite a bit to do here in Kunlai Summit. This is a 10-chapter zone. So, yeah, we're going to be in Kunlai Summit for a while. So, yeah, stay tuned.
Your rage gives you strength.